Well, now to a humanitarian breakthrough in Syria. Desperately needed aid is finally reaching civilians in Daria just outside Damascus. The International Red Cross says a relief convoy entered the town today for the first time since 2012. It posted a picture on its Twitter page, a stark reminder of how years of war have left much of the town in ruins. Daria has come under repeated attack by the regime as it tries to drive out rebel fighters. Russia says it helped broker a 48-hour truce to allow aid deliveries. And more now on the fight against ISIS. Fredrick Pleitgen is following developments from London. Thanks for being with us, Fred. We are hearing about a new offensive underway in northern Syria. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lynda. The ISIS really is under siege there from various locations and under a lot of pressure as well, not just in Fallujah, but also in the northern part of Syria. And really that offensive there in northern Syria is very, very important. It's in a region called the Manbij region, which is named after a town that's in that area. It's close to Aleppo, also fairly close to Raqqa, but what's even more important, right on the border between Turkey and Syria. And it's the last swath of land that ISIS still controls where it has a border with Syria. And the reason why the U.S.-led forces or the U.S.-supported forces of the Syrian Democratic Forces are trying to take that place is they want to stop ISIS from replenishing their ranks through that very porous border between Turkey and Syria, something they've identified as being very important. The Russians have also said is very important, and now it really appears that a push to try and seal that border is underway. The Syrian Democratic Forces, which is a force that's made up mostly of Kurdish fighters, but also some Arab tribes as well, they say that in the past couple of days they've managed to take back some 16 villages and farms, but they also acknowledged, Lynda, that it is still a long way from being able to seal that border fully. But certainly that area there, very, very important. It's really hard to overstate how important that area is, Lynda.
Right, so a significant development there. But just back to Iraq, Fallujah was the first city to fall to ISIS. UNICEF, as I mentioned earlier, has warned that 20,000 children are thought to be in that city. Talk to us about the humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, it's absolutely disastrous. If you listen to what the UN says, they say that in total there's some 50,000 civilians that are still trapped in there, 20,000 of them children. Now, you've had the issues that you've had over the past couple of months. That city's been under siege. People there not getting enough food, water, certainly by far not getting enough medicine. So they're already in a dire state as well. And now you have the fighting coming very close to there. And once the Iraqi security forces are able to enter that city and ISIS really fights back, we're probably going to see some pretty bloody urban combat with these civilians most probably still trapped in the middle. And as far as the 20,000 children that are still in there are concerned, the UN believes that ISIS is trying to force at least some of them to go to the front lines and fight against the Iraqi security forces that are coming in, which obviously would put them even more in harm's way than they already are. So a very, very dire humanitarian situation, and the UN is really warning about what could happen to these civilians if the fighting does intensify the way that people believe it will, Lynda.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there for now. Fredrick Pleitgen, thanks for staying across all of that for us.